Now, going into this season, there was one man that needed a good campaign. That's right, Big Ant here. Well, kind of small, actually. So when 2023 ended with the Brazilian £100 million man only scoring 1 league goal, the highlights package wasn't
big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv.
People are calling Antony the worst signing in Premier League history. But with Erik Ten Hag continuing to keep the faith, just how bad is Antony really? And is there any way for him to save his Manchester United career? Now look, listen, hats on, indoors, you know what that means. It's a dead trim alert. It was either this one or this Greg's hat. As you can see that I'm modelling quite nicely. This isn't a sponsored video, but it's been a difficult season kind of all round for Manchester United. Turbulent stuff behind the scenes, only 8th in the league and struggling to even get into the European places out on the pitch. But one man somehow has managed to stand out from the rest in that heaping pile of shit, and that is Antony. A man that they signed from Ajax for a reported €100 million and is match after match, game after game, struggling to leave any impact on it whatsoever during a 90 minutes, let alone get a goal contribution. I'll be honest, lads, this guy's only highlights are in his trim. It's a problem, honestly, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better. SofaScore is this Don's enemy. No good ratings to speak of. He was seen apologising to Galatasaray fans during the Champions League after Alejandro Garnacho celebrated in front of them. That's what they thought. Actually, he was just apologising to United fans for his own performances.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We'll take it back to the beginning, all right? The start of his Manchester United career. Eyebrows were already being raised at the massive fee that Erik Ten Hag and United had paid to Ajax, Eredivisie champions at that point, for the Brazilian signature. But he's a youngster, a young, exciting player with a lot of flair, great dribbling ability, and extremely useful skill moves.
I cannot believe it!
Yeah, this spinning activity in the Europa League, it got Paul Scholes on his back and probably on his toes. I heard people were calling him a fidget spinner, a wind turbine, allegedly a washing machine spin cycle.
Someone said it, innit, not me, innit, but I agree with that person as well, innit.
The rest of the National Beyblade Association were fuming when he decided to be a footballer instead.
Is that you are a Judas. Judas!
The world of football, let alone Manchester United, did not need this 360 no-scope behaviour. But look, the excuse and the defence was that he's a player who, again, likes his skill, grew up in Brazil, and likes to enjoy and express himself out on the pitch. And to be honest, when I first saw this skill in the Europa League, that's the kind of side of the fence that I sat on as well with this. I think sometimes we're too quick to get at players just for enjoying themselves and having a bit of fun, doing something unpredictable out on the pitch. Unfortunately for him, things are starting to get very predictable in the sense of him not actually doing anything. Because when he comes up against the wing back in a 1v1, it's not a whole lot of defensive beating going on. Pause. His brain goes into complete lockdown anytime there's a decision to be made in the final third. But to be honest, the thing that was nuts, yeah, I know we're starting off with the skill drama in the Europa League, his Premier League start wasn't all that bad. Yes, he may have scored in an absolute slapping against Manchester City where United lost 6-3, but it was a nice goal, cutting in from the right-hand side and curling it in with his left foot. Ederson's a very good goalkeeper, was beaten by the pace and the accuracy of this strike. Definitely left United fans with at least something to work with after such a dismal performance. And of course, the guy scored on his debut in the league as well. But really, we should have seen the downturn coming when he unleashed that celebration after. This is the personification of the XD emoji. The humanification of Raw. No defender saw this and was intimidated, boss. So the goals start to dry up a little bit, certainly in the league at this point. I think that coincided with defenders realizing that this guy does not possess a right foot. There might as well not be a boot on. It makes me wonder whether his right foot works at all. If he started riding a bicycle, he'd just go around in a circle. Now, I hear it. My weak foot, -3 stars on FIFA. But sometimes you just need to use it for some unpredictability. Because unless you're Iron Robin, yeah, you're not going to beat every defender with the same move every single time. I mentioned, yeah, some promise has been shown in the league right at the start. And as Manchester United went on their run to the last stages of the Europa League, they came up against some pretty difficult opposition in which he actually played pretty well, scoring a vital goal against Barcelona, a lovely finish as well, down into the bottom corner again, not quite the same as the Man City goal, but like kind of opening his body up on his favoured left foot and slotting it down into the bottom corner. But after 3 goals in his first 3 starts in the Premier League, things would start to dry out a little bit outside of Europe. The rest of the 2022-23 season would see him only score once against Nottingham Forest. He'd get an assist in that game as well. He had a minor injury during this time, but for the most part was playing regularly, starting as well. And at a time where seemingly all of Manchester United's wide men were involved in some kind of controversy, including himself, Mason Greenwood this season, then Jadon Sancho, and even more recently Marcus Rashford, there was a lot of pressure for him to step up going into the 23-24 campaign. I'll give you a spoiler. It didn't happen. For the entire rest of 2023, he wouldn't get himself a goal or an assist, leaving himself with 1 goal in 33 Premier League matches during the 2023 calendar year. 69 shots in 2023, 1 goal, just 2 assists, both of which coming last season, all from an XG of almost 5, so it's overall just bad finishing as well. And this season, that equates to 911 minutes without a goal contribution. This man has the same goal scoring record in the league this season as Maurizio Pochettino. Poor performances in the Champions League, shocking displays recently against the likes of Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, West Ham, Aston Villa was okay-ish against Liverpool. Not everything in the world of football is about goal contributions, okay? Even as a winger, there's a lot more that you can do. You can have a good game without getting a goal or an assist, right? But you can't have more than a disastrous season when you, as a winger, you've got no goals or assists, bro. Let alone when you are a 100 million euro player. The absolute least you gotta do is put some numbers on the board, even if the performances aren't that great. When we look at Rasmus Højlund, the most recent really big money Manchester United move, there was a lot of pressure on him when he started going 007, 008, 009. When he was getting physical phone calls from MI6, it was a problem, all right? We even had a social media campaign from an Australian The Voice star just to get him a miracle goal. But you could kind of see the vision, right? He was performing okay. The goals, the chances just weren't coming to him. And he was actually doing the business in the Champions League as well. He's been grinding out goals. I think I saw a stat the last 3 times he scored, it's not actually even been assisted by a Manchester United player. It's just been like a dodgy bounce or something. Hell, the assists definitely aren't coming from Antony. When he got to a point where even in the FA Cup, Manchester United are about to face off against Newport County, a 4th tier side down in League 2. And no offense to them, you know, I'm sure they were expecting to go there, get beaten pretty handily, but they did an amazing job to get themselves back on level terms from 2-0 down. They can go away from that match with their heads held high, something that even Antony managed to do during this game. Yep, that's right, Antony finally got his first goal contributions of the 23-24 season against Newport County, and this guy was shameless in his celebration. I think he did like 3 different celebrations. He did a celebration dedicated to the late Pele, who hit the stairs in 2022. And going into this one, United fans didn't even want him to play. They didn't even want him to get his confidence up. They wanted Amad Diallo to start, a young starlet who performed so well for Sunderland out on loan in the Championship last season, but he needs some game time. He needs game time over Antony. He's had his chance now, Erik. United fans were gutted seeing him in the lineup graphic on Twitter.
Brother, what's that?
Even Amad himself was left infuriated when Erik gave him the team sheet.
I'm out of voice, I don't know what to say.
And you know what's even more mental than all of this? He didn't even play well. He got a goal and he managed to grab himself an assist as well. It was a goal that bounced back off the post, came to him rather fortuitously, and he was there, ironically, with his right foot to actually put it into the back of the net. But the performance is shocking. United should have left him at Newport, but the country of Wales doesn't deserve that. So why does Erik Ten Hag stay so loyal to him? It goes back an even further question in the sense of why was this much money even forked out for him in the first place? It's a question and a debate that we really need to have. So let's take a look at his stats from the Eredivisie seasons where he was obviously playing at Ajax. In the 2020-2021 campaign, the one that was hit obviously by COVID, he managed to grab himself 9 goals and 8 assists for Ajax as they went on to win the league. Now he did that in 32 matches, so that's what, 17 goal contributions in 32? Pretty good effort. For a wide player playing in a team that won the Eredivisie, it's all right, because the Eredivisie obviously it's a bit of a weaker league than the Premier League. League, but it's still a decent effort, right? I think in the next season, he'd struggle a bit with injury problems. This is his last season at Ajax, 21-22. He'd get 12 goal contributions, including 8 goals themselves from 23 games. So a lot less in terms of games, but still a decent ratio when it comes to providing and creating and scoring goals. But I think if you asked any Ajax fan, how much would you value Antony? They'd value him pretty highly. He was, you know, a good player, but £100 million. Ajax's CEO was laughing when he got that bid come through the door.
Excellent choice, Kevin. How much you want to go for this time? Try 8,000, Kevin.
All right, let's do 10.
10.
You want to do that?
Excellent choice.
If we're being honest, there might need to be an investigation into Ajax as a whole. That might be a pyramid scheme. Donny van de Beek, Matthijs de Ligt has been struggling at Bayern. Antony, Gravenberch, and Erik Ten Hag signed up as if they're the next version of NFTs. I think that's a massive problem here as well. Ultimately, Erik Ten Hag has a level of pride in terms of Antony is his star man. We worked with before in the Netherlands, and now he wants that same level of success with Antony and can't quite understand why he's not getting the best out of him now. So that's the first thing. There's a level of pride, and that's meaning that Antony, it feels like he's immune from being dropped. So that's the first, like, factor contributing to this overall problem of Antony. The second major problem is ultimately Antony himself. There's no getting away from the fact that he should be performing so much better than he actually is right now. When he gets the ball, he just tries some mental skill move and footwork that just isn't going to work, and that defenders can easily bat him off. I think he needs to work seriously on his right foot. The guy cannot use it. It would help him so much more if he was just training that. There's a good dribbler in there, obviously. There's a skillful player, but serious questions also need to be asked of his decision making when it comes to the final third. And the final thing, right, and this is for me the main thing, along with the fact that he's just kind of been shit as well. He was never a 100 million euro player, ever. At no point during his career at Ajax. Not only did that create unreasonable expectations that he was probably never going to live up to in a bigger and better league than the one he was playing in, it just puts a massive amount of pressure on him. Like, I'm not joking. Even outside of football, this is the worst trade deal, negotiation, fund-making scheme of all time, all human history. And then all the other exterior factors after that. Manchester United themselves also just struggling and having a really poor season collectively right now, comes together to create one of the worst signings right now in Premier League history. So what do United do now? Do they continue to have the faith? Does Erik Ten Hag continue to make him undroppable? Antony to Saudi Arabia. Who says no? Probably Saudi Arabia. I think, honestly, you give it till the end of the season, and then you kind of evaluate from there in the summer. If he ends the season with 0 goals and 0 assists, either Erik Ten Hag has lost his job already at this point, or he's gonna lose his job. What I would say is, if he's been in and out of the side and still hasn't managed to pick it up, they've just got to cash in on him. Either loan him out for a season, hope that he performs well somewhere else, and then flog him on, or just get him out the door outright. Take the loss, because the max you're gonna get for him right now is probably 30 mil. That, for me, that's what's got to happen. If there's a miraculous turnaround, though, of course, fair play to him, but it's going to be a real struggle from here on in. What do you make of the Antony situation? Can he turn things around at Manchester United, or is it a complete done deal already? Have you got to move him on, sell him in the summer? Have your say down in the comments section, but thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.